Can people ever change? A person can change, and the world could change and become more beautiful. This was a quote of Jean Valjean in The Miserable, which I summarized in the sertraline podcast, which unfortunately is in Arabic, but most of you guys already know the plot. In short, it is a novel about a man who was imprisoned for stealing a loaf of bread. Because of all the suffering of the prison and his sense of injustice, he becomes a bad person. Then he is released. He meets a generous man who does good to him, so he himself becomes a better person, even adopting an orphan girl and risking his life throughout the novel for her. So, what do you think? Is it possible to change? Is it possible for the world to become more beautiful? Forget about the world. Is it possible for a person to change? That person that you know well and know that he is bad and committed many bad deeds and mistakes in the past. And perhaps that person is you, or me, or any of us. Can we change? There would be someone always will respond to it with a deep sigh and a shake of the head. People don't change, which is so frustrating and upsetting to hear that. It's more than just pessimistic, it feels like it is invisible. It's like saying there is no point to exercise, there is no point to work hard, nothing is gonna change. There is no point to do any good because nothing would change and you won't get anything in return. It feels like the whole world is turning its back on you, on your ability to be better, to grow, to learn the lesson. It is giving up on the fact that you have already changed. I've heard people don't change so many times that it never occurred to me to question it, and I can't believe it. But guess what? Now I know for sure that people do. Jean Valjean changed throughout the novel. He turned from a poor, caring brother and uncle into a hateful and resentful character during his time in prison, into a loving, forgiving, and caring human being that helped a community, generous and a loving father. He is just a character in a novel, you might say. Yes, but hey, you must believe it yourself first that people could change so that you can change. You must believe in light to see it, and believe in love to feel it, and believe in forgiving to get it, and believe that life getting better to live it. People can change. Yes, there is a but, and it's a big one. But the most important but they have to want to change. For must they have to want it for themselves, or the change won't happen. They have to see there is a problem with themselves, with who they are, how they act. If they can't admit to themselves honestly, change won't happen. I'm 100% not who I was 5 years ago. I was a pushover. I was short-tempered. I was insecure. I was depressed. I was ashamed. I was helpless. But now, I'm kinda a completely different person. I'm a different version of me. My relationships have changed me. My work changed me. What I read and eat and watch and spend time on changed me. Don't know about people, but I have changed. I know that. From crying over the little things to controlling my emotions. From begging for love to loving myself. From short talks to long conversations. From being insecure and unconfident person to work on myself. From have nothing but illusion to studying and writing and dancing and loving life. From not interacting and quiet to be the most talkative person in the room. From be obsessed with others to be obsessed with me. From being a daughter to being a best friend. And from being a person to be a human being. I know that in many fundamental ways I'm the same person I used to be 5 years ago, but also know that in other equally fundamental ways I'm not the person I used to be, sometimes for the worse, but mostly for the better. People change. When their priorities change, when their needs change, when their interest changes, and when the whole situation changes. People change through being dedicated to something. They change when they are loved, when they love. They change when they decide it's time to, when they have a new dream, a new person, a new baby, a reason to live. When whoever they are is just not working anymore. Of course, change isn't always a good thing. People often change for the worse. But all I'm saying is that if it's possible for people to change for the worse, then it is at least just as likely for them to change for the better. What do you think? Do people change? Have you?